A common mistake I see in parenting plans and really just in divorce in general is speaking negatively about your other co-parent. And I mean, we've all done it. Every single one of us who's gone through a divorce has done it. And so I don't mean to come in this judgy way, but I want you to understand the damage that causes your children. I mean, you have to remember your children are half of this other person. And if you're sitting around talking about how horrible that other person is, one, you're talking about half of your child. And it's really, really hard for children to be able to separate your animosity, anger, disgust, negative things you're saying about their other parent with the fact that they are part of that other parent and they love that other parent. And so doing everything you can to not bash your co-parent is going to help you so much. But the reason it's going to help you so much is because your children are going to not be damaged by the conflict. It is conflict that damages these children, not living in two healthy homes. It's interesting when you think about documenting things that are going on, with your co-parent as you're going through divorce. Some people take the documentation to this nth level where it's literally like you are trying to police your co-parent. That is not proper documentation. Actually using the documentation, maybe you're noticing concerns, maybe your children are coming back and they're struggling, maybe they're failing in school and they're getting tardies all the time on the other parent's time. That is the kind of information you want to bring ideally to a neutral third party. You don't want it to just be you gathering evidence to try to stick it to your ex at some point in court. The documentation should ideally be used to constructively improve the circumstances that your children are living under in both homes. If you find yourself kind of messing up when it's your time to have residential time and maybe you're not showing up timely or you're not showing up at all, you're having to cancel, maybe you have work obligations or what, these are the kind of things that can serve as a basis for a parenting plan modification. Because if the children are being put in a situation where they know, it's daddy's time, he's going to pick us up Thursday at 7, and daddy never shows up Thursday at 7, these children are actually suffering because they don't know all the reasons why you might not be coming. And all they know is you're just not showing up when they're expecting you to come. And so making sure your parenting plan is set up where you can achieve the residential time that is set out for you is so important. And it's also important to be sure to communicate with your co-parent well enough in advance. If something comes up, we all understand that, but it can't come up week after week after week, 5 minutes before 7. Absolutely, communication is by far the biggest landmine in co-parenting. And it is something that we all can learn to do better. I always want people to read the Co-Parenting Handbook by Karen Bunnell. It's a lifesaver in teaching you how to communicate in such a way that is constructive rather than destructive. Learning to write emails that don't trigger your co-parent, but rather empower your co-parent to be even better is what your goal is. Because if you are constantly either writing or on the receiving end of horrible communication, all you are doing is having this conflict bleed in to your children's childhood. And that's not the goal. Learning to communicate in ways, and there's a whole little procedure by Bill Eddy called BIF, Brief, Informative, Friendly, and Firm. Learning to communicate constructively is game-changing. If you have any question about how can you improve your co-parenting relationship, how do you bring your best self, your best communication to co-parenting, please reach out to us at Elise Bowie Family Law. We'd be happy to talk to you, share resources, and even review your current communication so that you can learn to be the best co-parent you can be.